My child, before you do anything else, I want you to notice that you did not arrive here by accident. Something tried to pull you away from this moment. A heaviness, a distraction, a quiet voice that said you were too tired for this, that this word was not for you, that you should keep scrolling and keep dragging yourself through the same exhaustion you woke up in. But you did not keep scrolling. You stayed, and that alone tells me who you are, my beloved, because the enemy of your strength fought hard to keep this exact message from reaching you. He knew what it carried. He knew that the moment these words settled into your spirit, the weariness that has weighed on you for so long would finally begin to lift. So hear me clearly. You were meant to be right here in this stillness, listening to your Father, because I have seen how tired you are, my child. I have watched you drag yourself out of bed on mornings when your body felt heavier than it should. I have watched you push through days on strength you did not have, running on the last of your reserves, wondering quietly whether the vitality you once had was simply gone for good. And I want to tell you plainly before we go one step further, you are not finished. I am not done with you. The tiredness you have carried was never meant to be the rest of your story. And right now, in this season, I am renewing your strength for what is coming. I know how long this weariness has gone on, my beloved. It did not arrive all at once. It came slowly, my child. One heavy season stacked on another until you could not remember the last time you woke up feeling truly rested. And somewhere in that long stretch, you quietly made peace with it. You decided this was simply how life would feel from now on, that the tiredness was permanent, that the version of you with energy and lightness and hope was a person you used to be and would never be again. My child, I have come tonight to disturb that quiet resignation. I did not create you to spend the rest of your days simply enduring your own life. I created you to be alive in it, and the thing you made peace with, the low, grinding exhaustion you accepted as your new normal, was never my will for you. It was a weight, and weights are meant to be lifted, not carried forever. Now hear me carefully, my beloved, because I want to be honest with you about what this is and what it is not. This is not about chasing back the years you have lost. It is not about pretending time has not passed, or masking the seasons that have shaped you, or striving after some vanishing image of who you used to be. That is not what your Father is doing. What I am doing is deeper than that, and far more useful to you. I am restoring the strength your next chapter requires. I am lifting the weariness that has been pressing on you, and I am filling the empty places with fresh energy, fresh clarity, and fresh hope. Because the assignment ahead of you is going to need a vessel that is strong, and I am preparing that vessel now. Hear the word of your Father in Isaiah 40:31, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." My child, read that promise slowly, because it was written for exactly the place you are standing in. It does not say the strong will stay strong. It says the ones who waited, the ones who grew tired in the waiting, the ones who reached the very end of themselves, are the ones I renew. Your exhaustion did not disqualify you from this promise. Your exhaustion, my beloved, is the very thing this promise was written to answer. And I want you to notice the picture I chose in that promise. My beloved, because it tells you something about how your strength returns. I said you would mount up with wings as eagles. Do you know how an eagle rises? It does not flap harder and harder until it exhausts itself. It waits for the wind, and it spreads its wings, and it lets the very storm that grounds other birds carry it higher. The eagle rises, my beloved, on the thing that was meant to keep it down. That is the kind of strength I am giving you, my child. Not the frantic, striving strength that runs itself into the ground trying to keep up. A different strength entirely, one that knows how to wait, how to lean into the wind of my spirit, and how to be lifted by the very seasons that were supposed to bury you. You have been trying to flap your way through your exhaustion for so long, my beloved. I am teaching you to spread your wings and let me carry you, and hear the tenderness in the last line of that promise, my child. It ends not with the dramatic soaring, but with the quiet, ordinary endurance. They shall walk and not faint, because I know that most of your life is not lived on the mountaintop of soaring. Most of it is the daily walking, the ordinary faithfulness of putting one foot in front of the other on the days nothing feels special. And that is exactly where so many grow faint, in the long, unspectacular middle. So I promised you strength for that too. Not only the strength to soar when the moment is glorious, but the deeper strength to keep walking, day after ordinary day, and not faint. That, my beloved, is the strength your next chapter will actually require. And it is the strength I am renewing in you now. So before we go deeper, let this be the first thing you say back to heaven today. In the comments below, type these words: I am not finished, and God is renewing me. Say it out loud first if you are alone, and then write it, because there is power in the moment. A weary heart finally agrees with what its Father has been saying all along. I want you to know that I have seen every tired day, my beloved, even the ones no one else noticed. I saw the mornings you lay in bed a few extra minutes gathering the strength just to begin. I saw the times you smiled and told people you were fine when your body was running on almost nothing. I saw you keep showing up for the ones who depended on you, long after your own tank was empty, giving out of a reserve you did not have. The world calls that just getting by, my child, but heaven called it faithfulness, and I recorded every bit of it. Your tiredness was never invisible to me. It was the honest cost of a life poured out, and I did not look at your exhaustion with disappointment. I looked at it with tenderness, and I have been waiting for this exact moment to begin pouring back into you everything the years poured out. So let heaven hear you agree with that, my beloved. In the comments below, type these words: God saw how tired I was. Say it, because for so long you believed no one noticed the weight you carried, and it is time your own heart heard the truth that your Father saw all of it. Let me tell you where the renewal begins, my beloved, because it does not begin where the world would look for it. The world looks at the surface, at the outside, at what can be seen in a mirror. But I begin my work on the inside, in the hidden person of the heart, in the place where hope lives or dies. Hear the word of your Father in 2 Corinthians 4:16. Though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. My child, that is the truth the world does not understand. The years may write themselves on the outside of a life. That is the way of things, and there is no shame in it. But the inward person, the you that hopes and dreams and believes and loves, that part of you was never meant to grow old and tired. That part of you is being renewed right now, day by day. And when the inside is renewed, everything downstream of it begins to change too. Because so much of the heaviness you have carried, my beloved, was never only in your body. It was in your spirit, and it settled into your body from there. The disappointment you swallowed, the grief you never had time to grieve, the stress that stacked itself on your shoulders year after year until you forgot what it felt like to stand up straight and breathe all the way to the bottom of your lungs. That weight was real, my child, and it was heavy, and it wore you down in ways no one around you fully understood. But I am lifting it now, and as that inner weight lifts, you are going to feel it in your whole self, because you were made as one whole being. And when the heaviness leaves your spirit, your body remembers what lightness feels like. I want you to do something with me right now, my beloved, gently, wherever you are sitting. Let your shoulders come down. I suspect they have been up near your ears for a long time, braced against the next hard thing. Let them drop. Let your breath go all the way to the bottom of your ribs, and then let it out slowly. The way you have not let a breath out in a long time. Unclench your jaw. Let the muscles in your face soften. You have been holding yourself tight for so long, my child, guarding against a blow that you forgot you were even doing it. Let that go now, just for the length of one breath. And if you felt even the smallest thing loosen, a settling in your shoulders, a deeper breath than usual, a quiet in your chest that was not there a moment ago, do not dismiss it. That is not nothing, my beloved. That is the beginning of the weight lifting. That is your spirit recognizing your Father's voice. So mark it. In the comments below, type these words: I receive fresh strength today. Let the receiving be a decision, because the decision always comes first, and the feeling follows after. I know the lie you have been fighting, my child, because I have heard you whisper it in your tired moments. You have wondered whether your best days are behind you. You have looked at the road still ahead and quietly feared you no longer have the strength to walk it. You have compared yourself to who you used to be, or to people who seem to have more energy, more time, more life left in them, and you have concluded that your season of usefulness is closing. My beloved, that conclusion is a lie, and I want to pull it out of you tonight. I do not measure a life the way the world measures it. I have never once looked at how many years a person has already spent and decided their purpose was finished. If your heart is still turned toward me even faintly, even through the exhaustion, then I am still planning to move through your life in ways that will surprise you. Think of my servant Caleb, my child. When the land was finally being divided, he was 85 years old, and he did not ask for the easy, quiet valley to rest in. He stood up and said, "Give me this mountain." At 85, he was still asking for the hard, high assignment, because he knew his strength was not in his age, but in the God who promised it to him. And he took the mountain, my child. So do not let the number of your years become the ceiling over your calling, my beloved. The strength I am renewing in you, my child, is not for a rocking chair. It is for a mountain. So say it, my child, and let it push back against every lie that has told you it is too late. In the comments below, type these words: I am not too old for my calling. Speak it as a fact, because it is one, no matter what season of life you are standing in. I want to be honest with you about why this renewal is happening now, my beloved, because it is not random, and it is not only for your comfort. I am not renewing your strength simply so that you can feel better, though I do want you to feel better. I am renewing your strength because there is more ahead of you that will require it. There are doors about to open that you will need energy to walk through. There are people connected to your next chapter who are waiting for a version of you that is not running on empty. There are assignments with your name on them that a depleted, worn-down, hopeless version of you could not carry. And so I am not sending you into them depleted. I am strengthening you first. The renewal is the preparation, and the fact that you are feeling it now means the assignment is close. Let that settle the question that has haunted you in your tired seasons, my child. You have wondered, in the quiet, whether your purpose was already behind you, whether you had already done the one useful thing your life was for, and everything now was just the slow winding down. My beloved, if that were true, I would not be renewing your strength. A field that has finished its harvest, my child, is left to rest, not prepared for planting, but you are being prepared. The very fact that I am pouring fresh strength into you is the proof that there is a new field to plant, a new assignment to carry, a new chapter that has not yet been written. I do not equip the finished, I equip the sent, and you, my child, are still being sent. So agree with heaven about your own future right now. In the comments below, type these words: God is not done with me. Speak it against every tired night that whispered the opposite, because your Father has just told you plainly that the strength rising in you is the strength of someone who still has somewhere to go. I want to speak now not as a distant voice, but as the Father who has been near you the whole time. My beloved, it grieves my heart to watch my children drag themselves through their days convinced they are running out, when I have an ocean of strength I long to pour into them. So before we go deeper, I want to give you the chance to be part of what I am doing in the earth. Not because I need it, but because I made you to give the way I give. There is someone out there tonight who is exactly where you were this morning, so tired they can barely lift their head, convinced their best days are behind them, and that no one sees how weary they have become. My child, in this season of your own renewal, I am inviting you to sow a seed for that person, never out of pressure, and never out of fear, because a gift given in fear is not a seed at all. But if your heart is moved, you can sow something into this work in their name, so that this same word of renewal can reach them in their most exhausted hour. You do not do this to earn what I am already freely giving you, my beloved. Your seed does not buy your strength, because the strength I give was never for sale. You give simply because a heart that has been filled loves to pour into an empty one. If that stirs something in you, you will find the way to give at the link in the description below, or by scanning the code on your screen. And whether or not you ever give a single thing, hear me clearly. I am renewing you the same. You are loved the same. There is no strength of heaven reserved only for those who give. Now let me tell you what your strength is really for, my child, Because if you understand this, you will stop apologizing for wanting it. The world made you feel selfish for wanting energy, guilty for wanting vitality, ashamed of longing to feel alive again. But there is nothing shallow about the strength I am giving you, because I am not giving it to you for vanity. I am giving it to you for mission. Your renewed strength is so that your arms can lift again in worship. Your renewed strength is so that your legs can carry you into the rooms where your presence is needed. Your renewed strength is so that your voice can speak life over people who have stopped believing life is possible for them. This is not about looking a certain way, my beloved. This is about being equipped to do what I have called you to do, and a calling like yours needs a body and a spirit that are not collapsing under exhaustion. Hear the word of your Father in Psalm 103:5, who satisfieth thy mouth with good things, so that thy youth is renewed like the eagles, my child. Notice what that renewal is truly about. It is not about the mirror. It is about vitality, about a renewed capacity to soar, about being satisfied again with good things after a long season of running on empty. The eagle does not renew its youth to admire itself. It renews its strength to rise, to see farther, to fly higher than the storm. That is the kind of renewal I am working in you. Not so you can look back at what you were, but so you can rise into what you are becoming. And read the first half of that verse too, my beloved, because it holds the key, who satisfieth thy mouth with good things. Before the renewal of strength comes the satisfying with good things. So much of your exhaustion, my child, came from a long season of being fed only hardship. You lived on a diet of disappointment and pressure and bad news for so long that your soul grew thin, and a thin soul makes for a weary body. But I am changing your diet now. I am beginning to satisfy you with good things again, small mercies, quiet joys, answered prayers, moments of peace you did not have to fight for. And as I feed your soul with good things instead of grief, the strength returns. The way color returns to someone who has finally begun to eat well after a long sickness. You are not being renewed by striving harder, my beloved. You are being renewed by being fed better, by your Father's own hand. So let me be plain about what your strength is for, my child, because I never want you to feel it is only for yourself. There are people waiting for you, not the exhausted, half-present version of you that has been merely surviving, but the renewed, steady present version of you that is rising now. There is a conversation only you can have, and it will need a clear mind. There is a burden only you can help carry, and it will need strong arms. There is a room only your presence can change, and it will need you to walk in with life in your eyes instead of the weariness you have grown used to. This is why I am not letting you fade quietly into the background. My beloved, your light is needed in the foreground, and light needs strength to shine. So I am giving you the strength, because I am about to need the light. Stay with me here, my beloved, because this is the turning of everything I am saying, and the enemy would love for you to drift away right before it lands. You have already come further tonight than most people would. You did not scroll past your own weariness and pretend it was fine. You stayed, and you let a word from heaven reach the tired place you usually keep hidden. That is the kind of heart heaven moves for, my child. And I do not want you to miss what comes next. I need to speak to the discouragement that has been sitting on you, my beloved, because it has been telling you a story about your tiredness that is not true. When you feel weary, the enemy whispers that it is because something is wrong with you, that you are weak, that you are failing, that everyone else is managing better than you are. But hear me, the weariness you have carried was not weakness. Very often it was the honest tiredness of a person who has been carrying more than any one person should carry, for longer than anyone noticed. You have been the strong one for so many people. You have poured yourself out again and again with almost no one pouring back into you. Of course you are tired, my child. You have been faithful, my child, in a way that cost you everything. And I did not bring you here to shame you for being tired. I brought you here to fill you back up. Think of my prophet Elijah, my child, because I want you to see how gently I treat a servant who has run all the way to the end of himself. After the greatest victory of his life, the exhaustion caught up with him all at once, and he ran into the wilderness, and he sat down under a juniper tree, and he told me he had had enough. He asked to die. He said, "It is enough now, take away my life." He was not being dramatic, my beloved. He was simply empty. The way you have been empty poured out past the point where he could see any reason to keep going. And notice what I did not do. I did not rebuke him for being tired. I did not lecture him about his lack of faith. I did not tell him to get up and try harder. I let him sleep, and while he slept, I sent an angel who touched him and set warm bread and water beside him, and said only this, "Arise and eat." And he ate, and he slept again, because sometimes the most spiritual thing a weary body can do is rest. And then the angel came a second time and touched him and said, "Arise and eat, because the journey is too great for thee." My child, hear that. The journey is too great for thee. I did not deny that the road ahead was hard. I acknowledged it, and then I fed him for it. And the scripture says he went in the strength of that meal for 40 days. That is what I am doing for you now, my beloved. I am not scolding your exhaustion. I am feeding you so that you can go the distance of what is ahead in a strength that is not your own. Hear the word of your Father in Isaiah 40:29. He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increaseth strength. Read who that promise is for. My beloved, not the strong. The faint, not the ones with plenty left in the tank. The ones who have no might left at all. If you have reached the place where you honestly have nothing left, then you have not reached the end of your usefulness. You have reached the exact place where my strength begins. I do not wait for you to muster up strength before I help you. I give power to the faint. I meet you at empty, my beloved, and I fill you there. So lay it down, my child. In the comments below, type these words. I lay down the weariness I have carried. And as you type it, imagine actually setting down a heavy bag you have been carrying on tired shoulders for miles. And feel how much lighter you become the moment your hands finally let it go. And hear the invitation I have been extending to you all along, my beloved, the one you have been too tired to fully accept. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. My child, notice that the rest I promise is not the rest of doing nothing. It is the rest of being yoked to me, of finally letting my strength pull the load instead of yours. You have been trying to pull the whole weight of your life alone, straining against it in your own power until you had nothing left. But a yoke is made for two. When you let me take my place beside you in it, the load that was crushing you becomes a load we carry together, and suddenly the same road that exhausted you becomes a road you can actually walk. That is why my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Not because the work disappears, but because you are no longer pulling it alone. So stop straining, my beloved. Step into the yoke beside your Father, and let me carry what you never had the strength to carry by yourself. And do not be afraid that this renewal will run out, my child. You have lived so long in scarcity, rationing your little strength, terrified of the moment it would be gone, that you may struggle to believe in a supply that does not run dry. But the strength I am giving you does not come from a limited reserve that empties as you spend it. It comes from an endless source, from the God who never grows weary and never faints. The same God who set the stars in place and has not tired since. My strength is not a cup I pour into you once, and then it is gone. It is a spring I have opened inside you, and springs do not run out. So you do not have to hoard what I am giving you. You do not have to be careful with it. Spend it freely on your calling. Pour it out on the people I send you. Use it fully in the assignment ahead, because every morning there will be more, drawn from a well that has no bottom. I want to prepare you for something, my beloved, because the renewal I am working in you will be tested tomorrow. When the fresh strength begins to rise and the heaviness begins to lift, a voice is going to try to talk you out of it. It will whisper that today was just a fleeting emotion, that nothing really changed, that by next week you will be just as exhausted as before. My child, when that voice comes, do not argue with it and do not obey it. It is the old heaviness trying to climb back onto shoulders it used to own. Remember instead what your Father said. Remember that I am the God who gives power to the faint, and that my renewing is not a one-time feeling but a daily work, renewed morning by morning. Some mornings the strength will feel obvious, and some mornings you will have to choose to believe it before you feel it. Either way, It is real because I am the one sustaining it, not your emotions. And understand this too, my beloved, because it will keep you steady. Not everyone in your life will know how to celebrate the new strength rising in you. Some people grew comfortable with the tired, depleted, always available version of you, the one who never had the energy to say no, the one who could always be leaned on because they had stopped fighting for themselves. When you begin to stand up straighter, when you begin to guard your energy and pour it toward your actual calling, some of them will not understand. Do not let that pull you back down, my child. You are not returning to the exhausted version of yourself just to keep other people comfortable. The renewal is not a betrayal of anyone. It is obedience to the God who is preparing you for what is next. So take a stand in your own heart right now, my beloved. In the comments below, type these words: "My best chapter is still ahead." Speak it as someone who has decided to stop reading their future by the light of their most tired days. And guard the strength I am giving you, my child, because not everything that drains you is worth the cost. Part of walking in renewed strength is learning where your energy is allowed to go. You have spent years pouring yourself out into things that only took from you and never gave back, into conversations that left you empty, into the endless task of managing other people's opinions of you, into worries that never once changed a single outcome. My beloved, a renewed vessel must also become a guarded vessel. I am not restoring your strength so that you can pour it right back into the same holes that drained it before. So as the energy returns, let me also teach you to protect it. It is not selfish, my beloved, to guard your peace. It is not unkind to step back from what steals your life. Some doors you have been holding open out of guilt. I am asking you to gently close, so that the strength I am giving flows toward your calling, and not down the same old drains. Let me put the whole truth in plain words now, my child, so you can carry it out of here and repeat it to yourself on the hard mornings. You are not finished, and your purpose is not behind you. The tiredness you carried was not weakness, and it was not your fault. It was the honest cost of a faithful life, and I saw every bit of it. And now I am renewing your strength, not for vanity and not to chase back the years, but because there is a real assignment ahead that needs a strong and steady vessel. And I am preparing that vessel now. The renewal begins on the inside where hope lives, and it works its way outward into your days, into your steps, into the energy you thought was gone for good. It comes gently, like the dawn, a little more each day, and it comes because I give power to the faint, and you, my child, are exactly the kind of faint and faithful heart this promise was written for. I want to prepare you for the mornings when it will not feel true, my beloved, because those mornings will come. You will wake up some days still tired, and the old voice will rush in to say that nothing changed, that the renewal was just a nice feeling that faded, that you are right back where you started. On those mornings, do not measure the truth of my promise by how your body feels the moment your eyes open. Measure it by my word, which does not change with your energy levels. My renewing of you is a daily work, and some days you will feel the strength before you rise, and other days you will have to rise in faith before you feel it. Both kinds of days are part of the renewing, my beloved. The strength that only shows up when you feel good is not strength at all. The strength I am building in you is the deeper kind, the kind that keeps walking and does not faint, even on the mornings your feelings have not caught up yet. Let me show you what this season is going to feel like, my child, because you have been braced for decline so long that you may not recognize renewal when it arrives. Picture an ordinary morning not far from now. Nothing dramatic marks the date, but you wake up, and before your mind reaches for the usual heaviness, you notice that the dread is not there. You are not immediately calculating how you will drag yourself through another day. There is a quiet steadiness in you, a sense that you have enough for today, and that tomorrow will have enough of its own. You move through your morning with a lightness in your step that you had honestly forgotten was possible. And someone who knows you says you seem different, and they cannot name what it is, and you cannot fully name it either. The answer is that the weight lifted, my beloved, and the strength returned, and you are finally being carried the way you should have been carried all along. And I want you to understand something about the way that renewal comes, my child, so you do not miss it while waiting for something more dramatic. It rarely arrives all at once like a lightning strike. It comes the way the dawn comes. Slowly at first, a little more light each day, until one morning you realize the darkness you had grown used to is simply gone. So do not despise the small returns of strength, my child. Do not dismiss the morning that felt slightly lighter, or the afternoon you had a little more to give than you expected, as though they do not count. Those are the dawn breaking, my beloved. Those small returns are the renewal I promised, arriving exactly the way I said it would. And when the strength does return, my child, you will notice something about yourself that has been buried under the tiredness for a long time. You will find that you want to do things again. The exhaustion had quietly stolen your desires, one by one, until survival was the only goal you had the energy for. But as the weight lifts, the wanting comes back. You will feel a pull towards something you used to love and had set down. You will catch yourself dreaming again about a future instead of only dreading the next day. You will notice a small spark of curiosity, of hope, of purpose, flickering back to life in a place that had gone dark. Do not talk yourself out of those stirrings, my beloved. They are not foolishness. My beloved, they are evidence. When the desires start to return, it means the strength is returning with them. Because I do not restore a person's energy and leave their heart empty. I restore both together, so that you will have something worth spending the new strength on. Let me paint you one more picture of where this is going, my child. Imagine yourself a year from now, sitting somewhere quiet, and you happen to remember how you feel tonight. You remember the heaviness, the resignation, the certainty that this was simply how life would be from now on, and you almost cannot believe it, because the person remembering is so different from the person who was living it. You have energy for your days again, you laugh more easily, and it is not forced. You wake up and the first feeling is not dread, but a quiet readiness to meet whatever the day holds. You are doing things you had given up on, and when you try to explain to someone how the change happened, you find you cannot fully put it into words, because it was not one thing. It was a slow, faithful renewing, day by a father who refused to let you fade. That is not a fantasy, my beloved. That is the version of your life waiting for you on the other side of receiving what I am pouring out right now. I want to say something to you about rest, my beloved, that the striving world never taught you, because I think you have carried guilt about it for a long time. You have believed, deep down, that resting was laziness, that slowing down was failure, that if you were not pushing and producing and holding everything together every waking moment, you were letting everyone down. So even your rest was anxious. Even your days off were spent bracing for the return to the grind. My child, hear me. I built rest into the very fabric of creation. On the seventh day, even I rested, not because I was tired, but to show my children that rest is holy, that it is not a reward you earn only after you have exhausted yourself, but a gift I give freely to the ones I love. When I let Elijah sleep under that tree before I gave him strength for the journey, I was teaching you something. Sometimes the most obedient, most spiritual thing a weary child can do is to stop and rest and let the Father restore them. So lay down the guilt you have carried about your own tiredness. There is no shame in being a human being who needs rest. There is only the invitation to finally receive it. Let your body rest in that truth for a moment, my child. The way a tired child finally rests in a father's arms. You do not have to hold yourself up right now. You do not have to be strong for anyone in this moment. Just let your weight settle. Let your hands open in your lap, palms up, no longer gripping, no longer bracing. This is the posture of the season you are entering, my beloved. Not the clenched, exhausted holding on of survival, but the open, resting hands of a child who finally trusts that the Father is strong enough to carry what they could not. And you are not carrying any of what is ahead alone, my child. That is the fear underneath so much of your exhaustion, is it not? The fear that it all depends on you, that if you stop holding it together, it will all fall apart, that you are the only one keeping the whole thing standing. But that was never true, my beloved. I go before you into every room you have not yet entered. I have already walked the road that is still ahead of you, and I have prepared it. And I will not send you one step into it without going first. So the strength I am renewing in you is not so that you can carry the weight of tomorrow by yourself. It is so that you can walk beside me into tomorrow unafraid, knowing that the one who holds the whole world is the one holding your hand. I know the doubts that rise in a season like this, my child, because I have heard you ask them in the quiet. Why would God bother renewing someone like me? Am I really worth this kind of attention? Have I not already used up whatever I was given? And I want to answer you plainly. It was never about whether you had earned it. It has always been about the fact that you are mine, and I do not abandon what belongs to me. I am not renewing your strength because you performed well enough to deserve it. I am renewing your strength because I have more for you to do, and a father does not send his child up a mountain without first making sure they have what the climb requires. You are not being renewed as a reward, my beloved. You are being renewed as an equipping. So carry this without apology, my child. Do not hide the new strength rising in you to make others feel comfortable. Do not shrink back into tiredness, because standing tall feels unfamiliar. The strength I am giving you is not arrogance. It is not vanity. It is the strength of a vessel being made ready for glory. So walk in it, my beloved. Stand up straight in it. Let people see that the God who renews the faint is real, because your renewed life will preach a sermon that your words never could. And your renewal was never only about you, my beloved. There are people who have watched you grow tired over the years, people who quietly gave up on you the way you nearly gave up on yourself, people who assumed your best days were spent. I am not renewing you to prove anything to them, and you owe them no explanation. But when they see the strength return to you, when they see you rise instead of fade, something will stir in them. Because if your father could renew a heart as worn down as yours had become, then perhaps there is hope for their own weariness too. Your renewal will become someone else's permission to believe again. There are tired souls all around you, my child, silently convinced that renewal is only for other people. And your standing up, your rising, your quiet return to life is going to be the living proof that turns their impossible into a maybe. That is part of why I am doing this so visibly. I want your life to become a testimony that the faint can be given power, so that the faint who are watching you will finally dare to ask me for it themselves. So say it, my beloved, as one who is ready to receive all of it. In the comments below, type these words: this new strength is mine, not it might be, not one day. Say it as a settled fact, because in the unseen it is already being poured out, and it is only a matter of time before what is true in the spirit becomes visible in your days. Now hear the voice of the one who brings you these words, speaking to you plainly for a moment, heart to heart. If this message has reached the tired place in you and lifted even a little of the weight, then let it become a seed in someone else's life too. There is a name rising in your heart right now, a specific person, someone who has been so weary for so long that they have stopped believing renewal is even possible for them. Do not let that name pass by. If your heart is moved to sow, you can sow a seed for them into this ministry, so that the same word that found you tonight can find them in their most exhausted hour. This is not a transaction, my friend. It is a declaration of faith, a way of saying that what you have received is too good to keep to yourself. You give not to earn anything, because everything your Father has for you is already freely given. You give because your own strength is finally being renewed enough to pour into someone else. You will find the way to sow at the link in the description below, or by scanning the code on the screen. And if this is not your season to give, then simply receive and give another day. Both are holy and both are seen. So here at the end, my child, let your Father bless you the way the blessing was always meant to be spoken over his own. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Strength in place of exhaustion, lightness in place of the weight, the steady sustaining of your Father in place of the striving that wore you down. Lift your head, my beloved. You are not finished. You are not fading. You are not running out. You are being renewed, day by day, from the inside out, for a chapter that is still ahead of you and heavier with glory than anything behind you. So rest tonight and rise tomorrow, and trust that the God who gives power to the faint is not going to leave you empty now. Your strength is being renewed. Your best chapter is still ahead, and you are ready, my child, for what is coming. If your spirit knows this is true, seal it now. In the comments below, type these words. I am ready for what is coming. Amen and amen.